What's up, everybody? This is Alex from Traders Retreat. I just wanted to run through today's price action with NQ, right? And how you can get signals from these hourly zones. So I talk about them a lot, hourly supply and demand zones based on the significant candles. So let's run back through. You see them here, right? This candle, this is the close of the 8 a.m. candle. So right at, just before, right at 9 o'clock, basically in the morning. So what I wanted to show was where we start here. So let's just zoom back. All right, if you're looking for the zones here, right, you're looking for the dominant zone above current price. Current price is down here. What I'm looking for is the dominant bullish close, right? Highest bullish close. So how am I going to do that? I see a bunch of bullish closes here interacting with each other, right? Current price is down here, obviously, at this point. And I get up to here and I can see that this wick, right? If I move to the last, the most recent candle that's above current price, that takes us to this big ass bearish drop, right? The next bullish candle is way up here. It's obviously interacting with another zone that I have, but even if you didn't have that, you could see it's way up here. It's a great place to start. So then from there, I'm literally just snapping lines. I use the magnet here, the weak magnet, and snap lines to the body of this candle. So snap lines to the body, and now we can see how this price pushed up, tested this supply, sellers were still here, and that's what gave the signal to sell off. So what's the next bullish close? This candle, right? So I snap lines to it, and immediately I can see confirmation of these zones. So how you know these things work, you'll see confirmation time and time again. Once this, right, this is a supply zone, once it's kind of confirmed or it's developed, I could say, we see multiple retests of this, right? No close inside, 1, 2, boom, come back up, try it again, close below it, retest, drop. All right, these are all plays that you can take here. Boom, big move up, it tested the zone, it obviously went through it, but again, it's just a wick. So there's supply, obviously there's supply everywhere up here, and if you got back up to this top, that's the main supply. But again, you got to work your way down because price isn't always going to go back up to the top. So we know we have a minor supply here. It's an intermediate supply. A price picked up, came back down, closed here. The retest obviously didn't get quite as high, but look at the drop. It's not totally surprising. This was Tuesday at, what was that? The 12 p.m. candle and the start of the 1 p.m. candle. So obviously that was a big sell-off. So next down, even though this is current prices here, just to show you where I got this one. When we have a tiny candle like this, and the body's so small that it makes it very difficult to put. You could snap lines just to the body, but when I do that, actually normally this would be something that I could distinguish. So I normally use the dotted line blown up a little bit, but either way, it represents an area of supply. So let's go back to current price and walk our way through this, right? The yellow, by the way, represents the 4-hour zones. It's the same process. So just, I'll put that there. All right, so we're going to walk through this. First thing to notice, right, at the 8 p.m. or 8 a.m. 8 a.m. close this morning, we had a bullish close above the zone, right? So not only was it above, obviously, where the actual body would be, because it's such a small candle, I am using the wicks, such a small body, and we did get the bullish close above. So that tells us that we need a retest of liquidity, which means, price movement to the downside, but we are looking for a bullish move to the upside. Now, everybody that traded today probably knows what happened, but let's walk through this with me and let's see how it interacts with this zone and then this zone up here, because I think it'll shed some light, right? Now, obviously, boom, I'm moving too fast here, but we had this move down, right? Push back down near the opening of this candle. You could have used anything in here and gotten long, as long as your stop, was within reason, or catch it after it bottoms and makes its move back up. This is why I zoom into smaller time frames to get the trend. Price pushes up, closes inside of this supply zone. So we know there's a supply zone here, but we close inside of it. So it's not a true bull signal, but if markets were weak, we should have seen a test of this zone with a candle close below it, right? So that does tell me that the bulls are still, battling it out. They still tend to be in control. This is a pretty big bullish move. On this pullback, right? Needless to say, we pull back to pretty much to this right here. And of course, I'll show it to you what this is. This is the 9 EMA pinned to the 5-minute. Okay, so even though this is on an hourly chart, this is the 9 EMA on the 5-minute, right? It's pinned to the 5-minute chart. It's always a good buy indicator, right? Obviously, we could zoom in on a smaller time frame. I can do that at a later video. I want to keep this short. Point being, you buy, you got the signal here that the bears are not in control, right? We didn't get the full bullish signal, but I mean, you look at markets, things were pushing up. You get the test, you hold down here. As it pushes up, you can enter. There's plenty of opportunities to enter this candle. This was the the 10 a.m. candle, right? So this was start of the market, and obviously this thing smashed up through. Now, you blew through this supply zone, okay, but it doesn't mean that it's irrelevant, right? Pushed all the way up. Obviously, if you had the 4-hour zones, if you were in the Discord, or if you had this strategy, this would make sense, right? This is the same strategy. We use it on all the time frames. I can show you that at the end of the video. We push up, we tag this. So what are we looking for now? We just got a bullish close above supply. The next hourly supply is up here, right? And again, you got to get the signal from the same time frame that the zones are. So even though this is a 4-hour zone, I know I'll see fractal interactions with it, like just like this, where we push up and we kind of tap it. But again, we don't have a 4-hour close yet, right? That doesn't come, for a little while still. So right now we're focusing just on the hourly zones, these blue zones. So we got the close above. What are we looking for? We're looking for a retest of that same liquidity to get long again. And that's what it gave us today. We got the retest. I mean, look at these retests, right? You could have played the short here, caught the bounce, although that wasn't a true retest. That's fine. Get the pullback right to the bottom of this zone. I mean, perfectly. That was your retest. Get in. This is the 1 p.m. candle. So from 1 to 2, you get the push up to here. We'll play this through so you guys can see how this played out. Right. That was the 3 p.m. candle. And I believe we're done. All right, so hopefully that makes sense for you guys, right? This is multiple trades that you can take throughout the day, right? All you need are a couple good trades. All you need to watch for are some of these moves. Just understand that when you get a bullish close, the retest doesn't have to, that's where the trickiness comes in. So you zoom in. Let me just show you the 4-hour here so you guys can understand what we're looking at, right? 4-hour demand or 4-hour supply, the highest bullish close on the 4-hour time frame. You can see I snapped lines to this candle, the open and close of it, right? The open and the close. You can see the confirmation here where we could not get a close up inside of it. So what do? We get the drop. I mean, look at this. This plays out time and time again. Couldn't get a close above. Bulls are giving up. Bears kick in. Push us down. We get a 4-hour close here. This was the 6 a.m. candle, right? So that closes at noon. We open up here. Or I'm sorry, noon, at 10 o'clock. We open up here. And, you get the retest of liquidity. This big push up, if people weren't watching the 4-hour, if they weren't watching these zones and saying, hey, I got a bearish 4-hour signal, right? I know that that's here. This push up would have been just ignored, right? It could have easily been ignored. Most people do ignore it. They think, hey, it's to the moon. We're going to rock and roll. Forgetting that, hey, there are smaller time frames to look at, but also on this big time frame, we got the bearish signal. And of course, that played out that day. So that same zone is in effect. That's what we tagged today. We got the push up, got the pullback. We actually closed back underneath it. That is a bearish signal for now. So tomorrow, maybe we, and I say tomorrow, this could be overnight. We see a retest of this liquidity. We should see a pullback coming back down. As far as how deep does it need to go? We don't really know yet for sure. The 4-hour demand, legit 4-hour demand, besides all these retest levels, is all the way down here, right? So this is your 4-hour demand. What's the last bearish closing candle? Dominant bearish closing candle. And that is, down here. Obviously, it's this candle. So again, that's the lower bearish close. You got to go down even further. Of course, we've had some huge moves. I do think this thing's going to roll over at some point. How far back does it go? Don't know. You do have this trend line here. Could see a pullback just back down to this demand zone. It would be retesting this, and that would give us a chance to see, to reassess as we get there, right? Whether it happens overnight, whether it happens, most likely would happen during the day tomorrow. So that is what I'm looking for on NQ. Of course, this will all change if we start getting closes that are higher, but keep in mind, whether you're looking at the 4-hour or the hourly, right? You have supply up above here. Real quick before we go, let's look at the 5-minute. And I can just give you some idea of how this, how you would trade this zooming in. So today, right? I mean, look at this here. If you're looking for the dominant candle, right? This was what? This was 9:15, so 9:30 opens right here. you get the pullback and you're saying, oh, look, it's the retest liquidity. We're dipping through that. Man, are we going to go lower? Well, where's the next dominant, the next bearish close, right? It's here, number one, this candle, and then you have another one right here. So again, these 5-minute zones, they can stack on top of each other. But if you don't, I don't mark them all, all day, every day, just because I teach people to see them. But again, that would have been your support level. It was a perfect test of it, right? Perfect test, close above here. I'll even show you. So that's the whole zone, right? You come down, you test it, you close above it. You test, you get wicked up, you close just barely inside. But if that's not a buy correlating, and again, this is why I say it's fractal. You have a 5-minute entry point. You're confirmed by the hourly close above, right? This is the retest of liquidity. It's a good indication to kind of bounce and go higher. You even have the trend line here. You could argue that that's in play. There's plenty of things. And yeah, if you dip lower, so be it. We knew that there's going to be support down here anyways. So then you get the push up, right? When you get this pullback, where are we going to? Well, we're going to the high, right? You can see this on the 5-minute. This was your high. It's just a retest. Makes sense. You have that 5 EMA and that 9 EMA on the 5-minute. And this is the 5 EMA on the 15-minute, that lighter purple. It's kind of a tighter line there. And boom, massive move to the upside, right? You can even see the fractal nature here, how it's interacting with the zone as you come down. That test was very quick and, it was deep, but it was quick and it was bought up fast. That indication, even if you don't get that bottom tick, by the time this closes up here, you should be understanding that close up here outside of the zone. You should be ready to buy. And you could even buy on that small pullback. QQQ calls, play it up to the upside, or NQ long. There's plenty of plays here because the chances were that we were going to make a move up, all based on this, the hourly close. So use these zones to your advantage. They're all about understanding the structure. This thing, this system works flawlessly. I mean, it's, nothing's 100%. There will be times where we get bear traps and bull traps, but again, we don't need every trade to go correctly, right? But when something like 7 out of 10 goes in your favor, it's kind of hard to ignore. So hopefully that helps you guys. I'll leave it at that. And you can always join us, Traders Retreat Discord. It's $50 a month. All that stuff's on my profile. You can always hit me up with a DM if you have any questions about it. It's we go through all this stuff. I teach classes on it, and of course I am on Spaces and in the tweets, or the posts as they call them now. So yeah, check us out. If you have any questions, let me know. Thanks.